Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a new video. I am doing a weekly recap of all the trades I ended up taking this week, as well as all the journals I took. So I'm going to go over every single trade I took, how I was feeling during the trade, and how I was feeling after the trade. And then I'm going to go over the journal that I wrote for that specific trading day, psychologically, technically, emotionally, everything. So coming into Monday this week, I was obviously looking for some longs. Price didn't really give me the opportunity there. I don't really want to go over the morning price action. I don't really want to go over trades that I didn't end up taking, but I'm just gonna go over this simple trade because this is how I want like every single trading day to look like. So for example, this 30-minute gap inversed, price is clearly bullish. We have this range from here to here. I want to see a sweep of the low. So we have equilibrium again. This inverses. Now there's a clear draw. Again, the daily profile was New York reversal as well. So inverse, this is clearly the draw. We have this range from intermediate term low to the high, coming to discount. We sweep a low, creating a protected low. Now I want the high sign from inversion, which in this case was the 5-minute, but that was literally at 9:25 at inverse. So the next candle was 9:30. So 9:29, 9:30 at inverse. So I don't want to take this trade at that time. Obviously went straight to TP, so I didn't get to take this trade, but it would have been a pretty nice 200-point trade. Again, this is the model. This is my model, right? Since the daily profile finished for the day, I am allowed to take a mechanical trade if the market presents a mechanical trade. Price ended up sweeping these highs and tapped into an hourly gap right over here. I'm just kind of going to do a replay just so it's easier to kind of look at this. We see buy side. Here we're coming into a premium of this range. Boom, we're coming to a premium, sweeping buy side and tapping into premium and a higher time frame PDRA, right? So that's the three things that I need into my model, right? So we have the range, we have a higher time frame, we have equilibrium, and now we need a sweep and an inversion. Okay, so there's a sweep here, and as you look at this, why is this a good trade? All right, where we're right here, this is a good trade because we sweep and then we're kind of like closing back in the range. It's not like so much of a displacing sweep, I'd say, like especially on the 15-minute, if you can see the sweep and then we kind of close back in the range. So like I really like this. So this makes sense. So we have equal highs here. Once we sweep the high, I wanted to see price come back to this 5-minute unfilled and this 5-minute in discount unfilled. That was my target. This one doesn't make much sense. I wanted to grab this range here on the lower time frame, and I want to see this 5-minute unfilled in the discount get mitigated. Now, what is price doing? Price up the high, like we just went over. We got the high time frame inversion, which is 2-minute. After the 2-minute, we got a break even here, which is a 5-minute unfilled, and then we partial down here. That was our first trade of the week. Made again, we're risking 375 per trade, so we made around 4 something on this trade here, because there was an initial SMT, so I took some off here and then took another one off here, and then I had 2 runners and I ended up getting stopped at break even. I wanted to see the runners go down here, but it never hit. Now let's go over the journal that I wrote for this trade. Confluences for my trade. Since the daily profile of the day finished, the market gave me an opportunity for a mechanical trade. Of course, it was very clear. We had a range, equilibrium, premium since it was a short, higher time frame gap, which is an hourly. We had a sweep of buy side. After sweep, we had a clean manipulation leg, which was 15-minute CRT or the 5-minute CRT, again at a key level. As you can see, if we sweep 5-minute high, we should go to the low, and that's exactly what we did. So essentially, we had a double sweep. We had the highest time from inversion, which was a 2-minute right here, and then we break even that internal and then targeted the 5-minute unfilled that was in a discount. Again, then I wanted to see 10 a.m. low since we opened higher but got stopped in profit for break even. It was a winning trade. Again, if you look at 10 a.m. here, 10 a.m. open higher, you could say this could be a rejection block or a protected low since we're so bullish on the day, but I wanted to see this low. Great way to start off the week. Process focus over P&L, trading what's clear, rules over anything, money follows discipline. And that's it. So now we're going to go over trading, trade number 2. Coming into Tuesday, I don't think this was a bad trade in my opinion, but I feel like I grabbed the wrong range. I should have grabbed the 4-hour range, but I was really confident in this trade, so I grabbed the 1-hour range. So again, I should have grabbed this range like this from the low to the high. So again, essentially price didn't come to equilibrium here, so I shouldn't have even taken the trade, but I grabbed it from the hourly, from the 9th, again, from previous day 9:30. So I grabbed it from here. So in this occasion, we actually come to equilibrium, which again, I don't think I'm wrong here, but there's no clean PDRA unless you go on the 30-minute. There's a 30-minute here. So again, I don't think I'm wrong in this essentially, but I guess the 4 hour would have been exactly what I would be looking for. So we'll see. Boom, the 4 hour got tapped. We were inside this 4 hour. We had again, higher time frame PDRA, range, equilibrium, and a sweep. Now we need the high time frame. Again, the sweep was this 15-minute right here, sweep, and as you can see, we're wicking and failing to close below. So that's why I was bullish. Okay, and we also had SMT with ES right here. So now I'm looking for the highest time frame inversion. Again, big displacement to the upside here. 4-minute inversion. I waited for a tap back in. There was a 3-minute fair value gap here, inverse. I waited for the 3-minute here. Boom, this got tapped. That was my fill. Okay, now if we go back to this, again, we were so overextended. I didn't feel the need for price to really go all the way down here. My stop loss essentially was at this low right here. So I shouldn't have gotten stopped, but then I saw 10 a.m. open here, lower, swept this low, and I saw a close above these highs. So I was like, all right, like I'm pretty confident here for me to move my stop because we just created a bullish order block after this mitigation. So if we're bullish, I don't want to see this go lower. And I moved my stop here. I ended up getting stopped out, and then we just chopped, and then it would have been a break-even trade regardless. So again, this loss kind of like bothered me, but at the same time it didn't bother me because I follow my rules, but it definitely confused me a bit after hitting break even. I was like, damn, should I just have kept my stop at the low? But we were so bullish here that I felt like we were just way too overextended. I follow my rules. Maybe I could have just grabbed a different range, but again, this is one of those trades where like it's a 50-50, you know, where it looks very good, but there's no like, I can see why I lost, but I can also see why I shouldn't have lost, right? So it's a great trade. But definitely, again, it messed with my psychology a little bit in a way of like, damn, I lost on a trade that I didn't think I was going to lose. But it made me realize that it's all probabilities. And this was mostly a test day, a mental testing day. And I'm glad that I was able to walk away after this loss. So I'll actually go over the journal here. I put... follow all of my rules today, and although the trade turned out to be a loss, I'm thinking long term. I'm going to keep being patient and trusting myself and my model. Definitely bothered me losing the trade because I lowered risk due to price inversing all the bullish PDRAs that were on my side. Oh yeah, that's another thing too. We had this 3-minute here, and I was like, if we sweep this low again and inverse, we're most likely going to go lower. And as you can see, the 3-minute BPR inversed. We tapped into the rejection block and then went higher. Like, too much chop. Again, there's nothing really you can do here. I follow my rules. Like, price shouldn't be disrespecting these PDRAs just to come into the rejection block. I'm not saying that it doesn't have to, but I'm not saying it doesn't have to, but it can. You know, price can always come and mitigate this, but essentially, I wouldn't want to see that in good bullish order flow, right? Again, but we swept an internal low and started to get displacement higher, closing above 10 a.m. and created a bullish order block. So I moved my stop loss to the low, which I was thinking a great move because today the market gave me the opportunity to do that. I just got emotional because price stopped me out at break even and then went straight to, price stopped me out and then went straight to my break even. But it doesn't matter because my model is profitable, so I will win long term. Then price gave me a potential play, but never inverse, and started consolidating, which started to bother me, so I got off. Again, yeah, later on there was this like a 5-minute inversion to equal highs, but I never got entry, so I just got off here. I don't even know where it is. I was looking at this 5-minute range here, and then price consolidated, and then eventually it inversed, but it's just sideways, so I ended up getting off, and equal highs were here on the lower time frame. Let me see if I can find it for you guys. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, equal highs right there. So I wanted to see this 5-minute inverse, but it created so much low resistance that I was like, I don't even want to be part of this anymore. So yeah. Moving on. Again, this day was definitely frustrating for me, but it's okay. I followed all my rules. I actually stayed patient. I executed correctly, and I stayed within my risk management plan. I told myself I'm only risking 375 per trade, and I did exactly that. And I only lost 300 on this day because, again, after 10 a.m. open lower, swept the low and created the bullish order block. And closing above highs and closing above 10 a.m., I expected bullish order flow to really kick up. So I lowered risk, only lost $300. It's fine. Again, confuses for the trade. Again, we had a range. We had equilibrium, sweep of sell side with an SMT, tap the 4-hour BISI. Again, also there was a more clear, and then we got the highest time frame inversion, which was the 4-minute. Again, this 4-minute, if we would have been mitigated, would have been a little bit more clear, I guess. But yeah, again, I thought it was a really good trade. Pretty much it. So now let's go into trade number. Where's another trade that I took? Here on Wednesday. I ended up taking 2 trades on Wednesday. So obviously I wanted to be bullish again, but price just literally consolidated and then give us the move up. There was a bullish SMT here, but after consolidation, I wanted to see price come up and come down and sweep this low, hold the SMT, and then again, if we would have gotten an inverse here, I would have longed and held it to this break even there, and then TP'd at those highs up there. But price never did that for me. If price would have done this, I would have taken the long here, 100%. I wouldn't have even gone break even at the high because this is just so bullish, like so much low resistance. Maybe I would have partialed 25% and then held 75% to my draw. But yeah, okay. Now coming into this trading day, now coming into this trade here, I don't think it was that good, this first trade. Again, I was going to get off after the daily profile of the day finished, but again, I'm going to go over this trade real quick. Again, I was recording my video, funny enough, and then I saw this trade. I took it, I lost. I was recording another video, and then I saw another trade, and I took it, and I won, and then I had to record another video, which is so funny. But again, what is the difference here that I feel like I made a mistake on was after the drawn liquidity got taken, I expected this hourly here to hold. Right? I was like, all right, like this internal model finished. I expect a rebalance, right? At the time, the 15-minute closed above this high with displacement. So like you don't really want to see this close. You know what I mean? Like over here, this is fine. Like if you look at it on the 15-minute, sorry, like there's not really a big close. Same thing here. 15-minute close so high up. So you don't really want to see that. See how it wicks and it slows down? We're just running through this high, bro. So it's like, do you really want to take a mech here? And the answer is no. You know, so that's a mistake that I made. But again, this wasn't a day of a rule break. This was a technical error that you adjust, right? And I feel like this is what I learned this week, where there's going to be times where you have a technical error, and there's going to be times where you have a psychological error, and then there's going to be times where like you'll have impulsiveness, right? And that is a rule break, right? If you have a technical error, you're just basically collecting data. You just have to refine your edge. And this is one of those days where I feel like I do know this, like if there's too much displacement, but this kind of confirmed it. So like I wouldn't consider this a rule break, although I do know that this is a trade you don't want to take. Like this kind of removed all doubts from my mind on the trade. Like I would have doubts. I'm like, oh, what if it's a little displacement, but the hourly is still holding? And that's exactly what we did, and it didn't work, right? So I'm just not even gonna take it from now on. That is something where you refine your edge. That's not a rule break. And I feel like at times when you take trades like this, you have to realize that you're not making a mistake. You're not breaking your rules. And like we as traders try to be as perfect as possible, and we let losses like this kind of get to our heads. We're like, oh my god, like I followed my rules, why didn't it work? Like this is such a good trade, and you get so like hooked on this trade that it doesn't make any sense, and it ends up spiraling, and you end up like back at square one, you know? So I feel like this is more of a refining day. As long as you're following your rules, if you lose, again, it doesn't matter. Did you follow your risk management? Yes. Did you follow your rules? Yes. Were you patient? Yes. Okay, so you lost. All right, what can you do better? There's nothing I could have done better today. It was good trade. All right, then you walk away. Oh, what could I have done better today? Oh, we had too much displacement. Next time I could have waited for this, or maybe next time we could have had time. Like stuff like that. And then that's a refinement. That's not a rule break, right? And I would always confuse the two, and I learned that about myself this week. So again, we had big displacement on the upside. Again, 5-minute sweep of these highs. Once again, boom. And then again, what did I look for? The 1 minute inversion. In this occasion, it was a 1 minute. Again, it looked very similar to the other trade. So again, I took it and I lost. Okay. Then I ended up seeing these equal highs get formed, and then we tapped into the 5 minute, sweeping this intermediate term low in the lower time frame again. And then what do we have? Okay, we have equilibrium. We have a sweep. Again, equilibrium. So we have a range, equilibrium, higher time frame, which is the 5 minute. Boom, a sweep, and then the high time for inversion, which is the 5 minute. Again, I could take the 5 minute. The reason I could take a 5 minute inversion here is because we have equal highs, and it's undeniably clear. Again, once price tapped into this 1 minute and then took the high, I longed right here. Put my stop at the low. Why was I confident here? Is because this low took the high, so we're truly bullish. This will react as a rejection block, and exactly what we did. Boom, and then we literally kept going higher, and I targeted a 1-to-1. I partialed most of my contracts off here, and then I held it. I was gonna hold runners to these highs, and I got stopped at break even after, and then price ended up just dumping out of nowhere. So yeah. Very good trade. Nothing you can do. So now to go over the journal here for May 21st on this day. Today I took 2 trades, both aligned with my plan and rules. Trade number 1, daily profile finish, so potential for a MEC, higher time frame SIBI, sweep of buy side, manipulation like, high time for inversion. Again, despite bullish displacement, I executed with discipline. Moving forward, if price displaces and closes through a higher low, price will most likely not retrace. Do not take the trade. I ended up losing this trade. Trade number 2. Long after bullish structure confirmed. I longed after bullish structure was confirmed because, again, bullish structure, we closed above these highs and created equal highs. Again, after we created equal highs, we started displacing lower to a higher time frame bullish gap, which was a 15-minute BISI inside of equilibrium. We swept sell side, and we had a 5-minute inversion. Again, high probability setup because although daily profile is done, we still had an external drop. Again, part 2, I'm going to go over emotions now. Follow my rules, 10 out of 10, manage risk professionally, 10 out of 10, no emotion, deviation, 10 out of 10. After the first loss, I felt grounded because I knew I followed my rules, but I realized that I could refine my edge. And then during my second trade, I felt emotional, and although I didn't react on it, I still didn't feel like the trade was effortless and smooth. And although it was probably a carryover for the first trade, I acknowledged it and didn't let it affect my progress. I know I'm growing, and I'm recognizing my triggers, and chose trust over fear. The reason I doubted the second trade was because the range didn't feel valid, but it was a high conviction, so I didn't let the noise get to my execution. Okay, and then I put insight. I put a little bit part 3 to this journal. If a trade meets my criteria, I execute regardless of how clear the markets feel. The edge plays out over time, not in any single trade. For example, little keynotes here. If price consolidates before inversing, I'm not going to trade. If price keeps displacing higher after a high gets taken, I can't take a make short. Okay? Today I just hit a gray area, a day of refinement, not a rule break. I followed my rules, executed clean, and didn't chase. Today was a great break-even day financially, but a huge win in execution and emotional control. I am becoming the trader I envision. I am disciplined, patient, and focused on the long game. Although today didn't feel smooth, this is what I asked for, and I'm growing. It wasn't smooth due to needing to control my emotions, but that's why I'm going to win, because I'm focused on the process. Okay? This was hard, and that's the truth. It was a hard day for me, and I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you guys. Like, being process focused is genuinely like really hard to do. at first I feel like at the beginning at least, like especially when you know something, bro, like, and I bet a lot of you guys could relate to me, like, bro, my dad is knocked, bro. He got his feet up and everything, bro. All right, let me lower the threshold so you guys can hear this. Bro, it's cooked. Bro's a unk. He cooked. Yo, chat, he's cooked. All right, let me like lower the threshold so you guys can't hear it. All right. So again, it's hard at first because you're trying to build discipline and consistency and habits. So at first it is hard, especially when you know what you're doing. And I know you guys can relate to me. I know those who have their edge and literally know what they're doing and literally take banger trades, but then all they need is 1 or 2 days where everything goes to shit. I feel you, man, and I just want to let you know, like, based off of the work that I've been doing for the past, again, I'll show you guys my journals, bro. Like, literally, bro, literally, this is everything I've journaled from literally where, and I'm like skipping pages here too, but like everything I journaled this week, bro. Emotionally, everything. Like everything, bro. Everything I've journaled, literally just for 4 trading days, because I'm focused on my emotional state of trading. I'm focused on my discipline. I'm literally so committed to the process change now. Like, I don't care, bro. Like, and I'm super intense with everything I do. Since the moment I started trading, I've been super intense and super intentional. And I think this is the only thing where I haven't gone fully 100%, because I've been trying to take shortcuts, and shortcuts don't work in this game, bro. Like, only after you have the habits and discipline engraved where, like, yeah, you can now go heavy on these evals and take shortcuts and put on risk on the live because you know what you're doing and you proved it to yourself, like, then fine, whatever. But like right now I'm not at that stage where I can do that, so I have to do the boring part. And I feel like the first week I feel like I've grown so much, and I'm not, it's crazy. So let's go into the next trading day. So of course we ended up having a bullish SMT with the daily low. So as you can see, bullish SMT inside of a clear discounted gap. Again, what did we end up doing here? We ended up sweeping liquidity inside a higher time frame PD array. Again, if you're looking at price here, what do we have? An hourly unfilled gap and the 15-minute unfilled here. And again, if you look inside, all of this is low resistance over here. Okay, it looks like literally accumulation. So again, what was I looking for here? Again, I was looking for the highest time frame inversion of this leg here. I know price is likely to go over here. Okay, once we inverse this, price was likely to go up here. Okay, so once we inverse that, then what do I want to do? Okay, we swept the low, have SMT, big displacement to the upside. Now I want equilibrium. Again, after we inverse, how do I know what to do? How do I know where my setup is gonna present itself? After we inverse this range, guys, after we inverse this range, you want to grab. Okay, now where should I enter? Like, what PD array should I enter? And that's where probably everybody gets confused. Like, how do I know not to enter on this CISD here? Like, I got stopped. Why? Well, enter in discount. Look for price to come to discount. Price came to discount, mitigated where? This 5-minute breaker, low, high, lower, low, higher, high. We mitigated this. What do? We sweep this 5-minute low, so we should go to the 5-minute high. Again, now what are you gonna look for? Inversion. Again, we came to equilibrium, tapped into a higher time frame PD array, swept the low, have a range, higher time frame gap, in equilibrium. Now we need an inversion. What do I need? Again, we're creating this order block, and then we inverse, and we got to close above it. Once we got to close above it, I didn't enter right away because it's too much risk. Once we tap back in, I longed. right here, break even. I partialed one contract, partial two, and then partial the rest up here. Again, pretty simple trade, just like that. Again, and I know it's before news, but the reason I took it before news, 9:45 news, is because price did the manipulation at 9:30. 9:30 opened. I know we went higher first, but this up move makes no sense because, like, we still have bullish structure. Until this discounted range gets invalidated, I'm not gonna be bearish because we break structure to the downside. I need this entire range to get invalidated. Once it gets invalidated, then I'll do what? Grab the entire range from this side, and then same process. Tap in the discount key level, and then take a short, right? So until then, I was bullish. Again, so 9:30 opened lower, creating that manipulation like for me before 9:45 came out. 9:45 news came out, so, and gave me entry before it. So usually when 9:30 manipulates lower, first, news will typically go towards the draw on liquidity. Again, this is pretty risky, but I felt really confident this occasion. This is not something that I'm going to do all the time, but when it's clear, I'm going to do it. All right, so pre-market journal. And I'll go over my emotions, and then I'm going to go over the post-market journal, and then we'll be done. So yeah, pre-market emotions. Been in a little mental funk all morning due to doubting myself and executing during bad market conditions. I feel like I haven't developed the trust and habits to be able to be confident in myself during bad conditions. Then I realized that's exactly why I'm lowering my risk and just focusing on my rules and on my triggers. I'm focusing on following my rules as best as possible and just trading when it's clear. If it's meant to be, it will. I know my edge is profitable. I don't need to prove anything. Just playing the long game and trusting my edge. Everything else doesn't matter. I don't need to think about what trade, when I'm gonna make it, or how I'm gonna make it. Like God says, do not lean on your own understanding and trust in the Lord with all your heart. Again, for me, ever since I've been trading and got into this trading journey, like, I've developed my relationship. I've developed this relationship with God where anytime I'm feeling like on edge or something, when I go to scripture, it kind of just grounds me. And yeah, so like I don't do it all the time, but I understand that there's like a higher power. There's a higher power, and that I cannot lean on my own understanding and literally just trust on what I know and trust God. And I understand that in due time it will happen, right? Like, and there's another verse that I always come back to where it's Galatians 6:9. It says, do not worry about doing good, for in due season you will reap if you do not give up. And just, again, don't worry about trying to perform every single day good. Don't worry about it. Just be in the present moment. Keep going. Keep having faith. Never quit. And in due season, you will reap, if you do not give up. So if you keep going, you're going to get everything. You're going to literally be crying, bro. And you're going to be literally giving all the glory to the man above for never giving up and giving you the strength to making it happen. So, again, I know for a fact that if I do not give up and I just focus on the process of every single trade, it will happen. And follow my rules, it will happen, right? And I cannot give in to that impulsive side of me. Like, it makes no sense, and I'm not willing to do that anymore. So yeah, I'm very grateful. I'm happy, and I know it's gonna happen. So that's pretty much it. So now let's read post-market journal after I took this trade. Although I was feeling on edge this morning, I knew to not lean on my own understanding when I'm confused. I need to submit to God and trust my edge. Focus in the moment on what's clear and trust myself. The markets had a very clean draw today. Daily profile was New York reversal. I took one trade. Confluences. We had a 30-minute range. We had equilibrium, which was we had a 30-minute range. We had equilibrium. We had a higher time frame BISI, which was a 15-minute BISI. We tapped into 5-minute breaker, which was also mitigation. We swept a 5-minute CRT low, 1-minute inversion. It was a high time frame inversion. Also, whenever we have an order block that gets printed, but it doesn't inverse, So I'm gonna read this. Whenever we have an inversion and price prints an order block but doesn't inverse, you want price to see a close above the order block for extra confirmation. So like if we create this order block, you don't want to see a close above the body here, or a close above just the order inversion. You want to see a big displacing above. So now you have this order block and the inversion. And the reason why I say that is because this could be soup and then price can go lower, right? Again, if you feel really confident, you don't need to. Just the body would do enough. Like the body, obviously the inversion and the body in this sense. But again, like in this scenario, since it's before news, I needed to close above the body here. I mean the wick. I needed close above the high. That's pretty much all I have to really say. So overall, this week we ended up taking 5 trades, and we ended up winning 3 and losing 2. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys next week. Tomorrow, I'm most likely going to upload a video talking about discipline and why you actually choose to be disciplined versus why you shouldn't choose to be disciplined. There's two types of discipline, and there's one that's actually going to either make you in your trading or one that's going to break your trading. So definitely going to be talking about that, and hope you guys enjoy that video. With that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy your Sunday. Happy Sunday, everyone. Peace.